February, the United States of America celebrates Black History Month. It is a way to honor the contributions that African Americans have made throughout history, while also recognizing the fight for equality and justice continues. A founder of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History organization, Carter G. Woodson, is believed to have had the idea for what would become a month-long celebration. Mr. Woodson, who earned a PhD in history from Harvard University, was born in 1875 to newly freed Virginia slaves. The motivation for Carter Woodson of developing this concept of celebrating Black history was his belief that African American children were not being taught about their ancestors' achievements. Carter Woodson was instrumental in having Negro History Week launched in 1926. As the decade of the 1960s closed, Negro History Week continued to be celebrated. This was the precursor for what was changed into Black History Month. The month of February was picked for Black History Month because it contained the birthdays of United States President Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. President Lincoln was born on February 12th. Frederick Douglass, a former slave who became a noted abolitionist, did not know his precise birthday, but celebrated his date of birth on February 14th. Some 50 years after the first celebrations of Black history, then United States President Gerald R. Ford officially recognized Black History Month during the celebration of America's bicentennial in 1976. President Ford called on Americans to, quote, seize the opportunity to honor the too often neglected accomplishments of Black Americans in every area of endeavor throughout our history. The Norfolk Registry of Deeds and the land records housed there date back to 1793. John Hancock, a signer of the Declaration of Independence, was then governor of Massachusetts, and on March 26, 1793, signed legislation that established Norfolk County on June 20th, 1793. A modernization initiative recently completed at the Norfolk Registry of Deeds that transcribed handwritten land records dating from 1793 to 1900 has made history come alive. As Black History Month is celebrated, let us be aware of connections to Norfolk County. Booker T. Washington was born into slavery in 1856. He was an educator, author, and orator who during his lifetime was one of the prominent voices for African Americans in the United States. Booker T. Washington established the Tuskegee Institute, a school of higher learning for African Americans located in Alabama. He called for progress through education and entrepreneurship. Booker T. Washington's connection to Norfolk County was that he vacationed for several summers at the residence owned by William H. Baldwin, Jr. in South Weymouth at the intersection of Main Street and Columbian Street. As part of the 225th anniversary commemoration of Norfolk County in 2018, the Registry of Deeds chose another notable African American, Audie Cornish, who hails from the Norfolk County community of Randolph, to be in its notable land records book. Audie Cornish was born in Randolph in 1979. She graduated from Randolph High School and attended the University of Massachusetts at Amherst. Audie Cornish went on to become a journalist for the Associated Press and later a reporter for Boston public radio station WBUR. In 2005, she shared first prize in the National Awards for Education Writing for a report entitled Reading, Writing, and Race. Ms. Cornish became a reporter for National Public Radio, later becoming a host and news chair. William Maurice Mo Cowan lived in the Norfolk County town of Stoughton. He was appointed to serve as the United States Senator for the state of Massachusetts on February 1st, 2013. He served along with United States Senator Tim Scott, a Republican from South Carolina, making it the first time that two African Americans served simultaneously in the United States Senate. Prior to his appointment, Senator Cowan earned a law degree at Northeastern University and joined the prestigious law firm of Mintz, Levin, where he later became partner. Mr. Cowan left the law firm to become counsel to Governor Deval Patrick. Speaking of Governor Deval Patrick, an African American who was elected as governor of Massachusetts in 2006, he served 2 terms as governor. Did you know he lived in the Norfolk County town of Milton? Florida Ruffin Ridley was an African American civil rights activist, suffragist, teacher, writer, and editor, born in 1861. She was one of the first African American school teachers in Boston and edited The Woman's Era, the country's first newspaper established by and for African American women. Florida Ruffin Ridley lived in the Norfolk County town of Brookline, where in 1896 she was one of the town's first African American homeowners. In September of 2020, the Florida Ruffin Ridley School in Brookline was renamed in her honor. The Norfolk Registry of Deeds building is located in Dedham. This Norfolk County community recently honored the life of William B. Gould, who lived from 1837 to 1923, by renaming the East Dedham Passive Park in his honor. William B. Gould was born into slavery in North Carolina. He escaped slavery in 1862 by boat during the Civil War. Mr. Gould served for the Union for the rest of the Civil War in the Navy, chasing Confederate vessels. After the Civil War ended, this Civil War Navy veteran was a distinguished member of the Dedham community. Henry W. Diggs was a lifelong resident of my hometown of Norwood from 1906 to 2003. He and his relatives were the first African Americans to settle in Norwood. After graduating from Norwood High School in 1924, Mr. Diggs worked for the Norwood Press. He would later serve as a radio repairman for the United States Army Signal Corps during World War II. Henry Diggs was active in town government, having served on the Norwood School Committee, Town Meeting, and the Blue Hills Regional High School Committee. Mr. Diggs, in a high school graduation address, urged graduates to, quote, quote, build a bridge, quote, quote, to one another so that, quote, quote, walls of suspicion, fear, prejudice, and hate will disappear. Sam Jones was a clutch basketball player who won 10 championships with the Boston Celtics during their dynasty in the late 1950s and 1960s. Mr. Jones died recently at the age of 88. Sam Jones, as a Boston Celtic, wore the number 24, which was retired by the Celtics in 1969 while he was still an active player. He was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 1984, having played all 12 of his NBA seasons with the Boston Celtics. Sam Jones owned a home together with his wife, Gladys, in the Norfolk County community of Sharon, while he was playing for the Boston Celtics. Black History Month commemorates contributions made by African Americans to our country and to the fabric of what makes up our country. Let us be proud and take notice of all noted contributions and know individuals from our communities here in Norfolk County have been a part of that history. The Norfolk County Registry of Deeds is located at 649 High Street in Dedham. The registry is a resource for homeowners, title examiners, mortgage lenders, municipalities, and others with a need for secure, accurate, accessible land record information. All land record research information can be found on the registry website at www.norfolkdeeds.org. Residents in need of assistance can contact the Registry of Deeds Customer Service Center via telephone at 781-461-6101 or email us at registerodonnell@norfolkdeeds.org.